Welcome back to Beer Brackets, everybody. Today we're continuing on in our series of episodes tackling the great British ales. Today we are looking at the Robertson Brewery's Trooper. Alessandro, I'm so excited for this one, man. You've tried this, right? I've never tried this beer before.
I have, and that's why I'm so excited, man. And it's not only for the beer, it's also like, the theme and what we're about to talk about. So
the whole
awesome.
thing. The whole thing. This is charged with flavor on it. I've got the French writing on it too. Rempli de goût. I'm excited. We've talked about this already in past videos. We love our British ales. So this one, of course, the Robertson's Brewery has been around since the 1800s out of England. And so they own a big chain of pubs in England, Alessandro, right? They own 250 some odd pubs, which is pretty incredible. So they started off brewing beer in a little inn. And if you look at the Robertson Brewery's logo, I'll put it up on the screen here. It's not actually on the can. You'll see there's a little unicorn there because they used to brew out of the Unicorn Inn back in the 1800s. And now, of course, they're a big mega brewery corporation up there in the UK. And the Trooper, this is a collaboration with thrash metal band Iron Maiden. Alessandro and I are both big fans of. And this is named after one of their tracks off their 1983 album, A Peace of Mind, The Trooper. And you see their little mascot, Eddie, there on the front of the can. So cool. I love it. So, man, Alessandro, you told me something interesting before we started here. They use a specific kind of hops that's interesting for British ales, right?
Exactly. Like if I'm not mistaken, they're using 3 different types of hop: Bobek, Goldings, and Cascade. Now, while Goldings is typical of British beers, Bobek and Cascade are not. Now, Bobek is predominantly grown in Slovenia. But Cascade, I'm sure most of beer fans and lovers have heard this hop before, and it's a typical U.S. kind of hop. So it's interesting that this British beer is using hops that are not traditional. So that's what makes it also so unique.
Man, I'm excited. Let's crack them open. Let's pour them out. I have been dying to try this one for years. I can't get it in Quebec, so once I moved to Ontario,
it's time.
I saw it.
It's time.
I got excited. I don't even know what this one's gonna look like.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow. Just the smell out of the can. Whoa, okay.
Isn't it nice? Yeah.
So we can get right into the Aroma.
Oh, look at that.
Little beer ASMR here. Aroma, cheers.
Aroma, cheers to you, my friend.
What do you think?
Ooh, wow.
Oh, this is good.
It's not packed. It's charged with flavor.
Charged with flavor.
Difficult to find specific descriptors, but because there's so many. I mean, you obviously smell a little bit of that gentle malt in the background. It's not quite roasted. It's almost like slightly sweet. But the predominant notes that I taste are that I smell are the hops. I want to say it's a very well made balance of classic earthy undertones that British beers have, but there's a little bit of citrus notes and some other elements that almost makes it dark fruit, I would say. What do you think, my friend? Any descriptors that jump into mind?
I think it started as one thing and it kind of morphed into something else for me. When it started off right way, it reminded me of almost like the Abbott Ale that I've talked about on the channel before, where, like you said, dark fruit, like dates, prunes. I was getting that, but now I'm getting like very citrus like aromas. And correct me if I'm wrong, aren't the Cascade hops known for giving certain citrusy characteristics?
I believe so, yes. I would have said the same thing. Probably the Cascade here is playing a little bit of that magic.
You get some breadiness. It's delicious. My friend, you didn't say it. What did you score it?
Oh, I didn't, because I was like too
You're too excited, man. You're too,
so,
what do you think about the aroma? You just want to get to the taste. You just want to rush right through to the taste. But we can't. We need to score the aroma before we drink this delicious beer. It's going to be our reward.
You're right. I think
this is really
I think I'm going to start high on this and start with the 2. Because it like you said, it evolves quite a lot, and it's the smell and the aroma is quite present. So it's not quite a 3, but there's so many things and so many pleasant things going on that it deserves a 2. What do you think?
I just have the song playing in the back of my mind the whole time. I can't shake it. You know what? This is a 3-on-3 aroma for me. I love this. This is delicious. It's so complex. It's so deep that just everything I described before is delicious. It makes me want to go in for it. I'm literally salivating right now. I'm salivating while bobbing my head, listening to the Trooper in my subconscious.
It's charging.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, my friend.
Let's get right into the taste here. Okay. taste. Oh, I'll let you go first, but I've got a lot to say about this.
Right?
I've got a lot to say.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
So it evolves quite a bit.
It does. It's still
does.
evolving.
And it almost like it jumps into, I don't want to go in too much into the finish, but let's start. The up front, I get a little bit of...
It's like the trooper running across the plains.
Exactly.
With his musket.
I do get a little bit of that sweetness initially, but it jumps quite quickly into a very gentle bitterness. And
Wow.
I think the bitterness here is probably the element that like runs through the most of the taste experience. But it evolves quite a bit. Like it builds up without ever becoming too much. There's acidity there too, which I like because it keeps you, salivating and wanting to go back into the glass. I do get some of those earthy notes from the classic, the Goldings. A little bit of citrus, and again, it keeps evolving.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow, on the taste, I think on the aroma I was a little bit unsure, but on the taste, I'm gonna go with the 3. What do you think, my friend?
So in the taste, I was expecting something completely different. I'm not getting a lot of the elements on the aroma on the taste. It's a little bit more subdued. It's really mellow.
It is. It is. It very gentle, very almost like light.
Very gentle. It's very hoppy. I was hoping to get a little bit more of like the sweet dark malts, a little bit dark fruit. I was hoping to get that more on the taste. It's delicious though. Really sessionable. I'm gonna give it a 2. I think it's a very, very strong 2 for me on the taste. What about the mouthfeel, my friend? But before we get to the mouthfeel,
refreshing.
We do have to refresh this a little bit.
Here we go.
As is
tradition.
Your bracket tradition. It's not overly carbonated, right?
It's not really overly carbonated, which I will say it's probably nice characteristics of a lot of English real ales. Like they are carbonated, but not too much. And I think that's also part of the charm. And they've managed to capture that, and even in the can here. And I kind of like that because it really takes me back to a lot of great like pub experiences that I've had in Great Britain. So because of that, I think it deserves a 2. I don't think I will go as high as a 3 because again, it like you said on the taste, it's almost a little light. But I like the way that it almost resembles those classic real ales that you would get in a pub. So what do you think?
I love that these ales are so easy drinking but so complex at the same time. I mean, that's what makes this such an interesting category to dive into.
Yeah.
This definitely encompasses that. The mouthfeel is not overly carbonated. It's just enough. It's light in body. It's really sort of refreshing, fizzy, easy to drink. I would compare it to sort of just drinking like a carbonated water, like a seltzer water in that sense. You get a little bit of carbonation, but it's not too much. It doesn't have a really thick, foamy head. So you're not battling through a head to take a sip. It's good. It's refreshing. I don't want to go as low as a 1, but because there's not too much interesting there, but it's really good at what it does. And it serves a purpose. I think 2 is a very solid rating. I'm going to stick with a 2 as well. I agree with you on that. But now the finish, my friend, because I think that is where this beer shines the most. And I feel like we say that a lot on this channel. We deal with a lot of beers with interesting finishes. But this one in particular, what do you think?
Well, the finish, like you said, it's and I almost got into talking of that in the taste because it just never stops. From the moment you take a sip, yes, you have that initial evolution, that mouthfeel that is very well done, but then it just keeps going. It never stops, and it's in an evolution, and it's almost like I think that's where the use of those 3 hops are probably showing its best magic. You do get that earthy undertones, you get that citrus, almost like tropical fruit, like in a sense, and then you have those dark fruits at the same time, and they all show up like a little bit later on, and they keep going and going. So what I think about like very complex and well done finishes, well, that deserves a 3 for me. So what do you think, my friend?
I can't not agree with you. It's very complex and it's constantly evolving. Like I gave the mental imagery of Eddie running across the field with his musket, just cascading again across that field, the open hills, just as you see on the front of the can over here holding that British flag. I think it is a 3 on 3 finish for me as well, my friend. You get, like the first thing that I get on the finish is the bitterness, and then it just sort of melts away, and you get like a little bit of biscuit, a little bit of dark fruit, a little bit of citrus, maybe a little bit of banana. I'm sure there's a lot of things like that you can take out of there. It's delicious, and it evolves over about like 5-10 seconds. As you give it time, the finish just, it grows, and it becomes something different, and it morphs from one thing to another. It's fantastic. And it's very reminiscent, like we've said a couple of times in this video, of other similar British style ales. I think they're all, a lot of them at least, are very true to that, where it's the taste, the aroma, and the finish are much more complex than the actual taste. So they sort of, it lures you in to take a sip, and then the finish makes you want to take another sip. And that's sort of like, it brings you in and then it keeps you. So far, we're even in our score on the taste and the aroma. We had a little switcheroo of 2s and 3s over there. But as an overall beer experience, my friend, what would you rate it on 3?
I think, and the more I think about it, I think this is a very solid, tending to high 2. And I think that the mouthfeel, I think this on tap would absolutely blow my mind. But I think that because it's in the can and all of that, like I think some elements might be a little bit different compared to having it on tap in a pub. So I think that's the reason why I'm sticking with the 2. But overall, like, wow, what a great beer. What do you think, my friend?
Yeah, I think if there was a little bit more to the actual taste, I think it would be an easy 3 for me on overall experience. But there's something lacking there. Every time I take another sip, aroma's great, mouth feels great, finish is great. The taste just leaves a little bit to be desired for me. So it's a 2 on 3 overall experience for me as well, my friend. One thing I forgot to mention, did you know that they actually have a nitro version that they sell of the Trooper?
I did not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they have a Trooper Nitro. I've never seen it before. I don't know. Maybe it's just strictly a UK thing. Maybe they don't export it. I've seen it online. Can you imagine this beer with a nitro infusion to it on tap?
You just blew my mind, my friend. Like, it might be a new white whale.
It might be. It might be. Final scores, everybody. Eddie would be proud. The Trooper gets a solid 4 on 5, which comes out to an excellent beer in our rating system. This was so much fun. This was great. Like I said, I never tried it before. I kind of had an idea from other British ales that I've tried on what I could expect from this one, but it's different. Beat my expectations. This was delicious.
Delicious.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Keep an eye open. We do have other British beer reviews coming in our little series analyzing British ales here. So stay tuned. Don't forget to close your British ale beer brackets
Never forget.
if opened.